I'm going to make what will possibly be my most controversial video yet, because I feel that it's time to balance my Mac PC argument a little bit and direct some criticism and praise at both Microsoft and Apple. I'm getting really tired of the religious cult-like following associated with Windows and OS X operating systems. I believe in making well-informed and unbiased logical and reasonable arguments which help to further develop understanding of any given topic, but this has become increasingly difficult when it comes to the war of words between PC and Mac debate. I've been a PC user for 12 years now and continue to use Windows on a reduced but frequent basis since switching to Mac in March of 2008. The decision to buy a Mac was based on needing a reliable platform to edit video using Final Cut Pro. During my Mac learning curve, I found a strong and unexpected appreciation for the OS X Leopard interface, the integration between apps, ease of use, stability, simplicity, and performance. All of these positives seemed lacking in Windows at the time. I could understand the Mac fanboy mentality and aversion to Windows XP, especially Vista. However, things have changed considerably. Apple have gained enormous ground in the desktop market, specifically the premium end. Vista was a gift to them. Its flaws and Leopard's glorious feature-rich design made switching for many long-term PC users a no-brainer. The Get a Mac ad campaign took full advantage of Microsoft's blunder, and the fact that Macs seemed overpriced to consumers when compared to their PC counterparts only further served to underline the sentiment that in this life you get what you pay for. Apple embraced the new users with open arms. Microsoft's reputation took a severe pounding, but in my opinion, they made pretty much all the mistakes they could with Vista. If you throw enough new ideas at a wall for long enough, eventually something will stick. The new sticky is called Windows 7. It's going to stick around for some time to come. My problem is that many hardcore Mac lovers see this as a bad thing, as a threat. Personally, I'm a peace lover. I don't see how a useful tool to do work is a threat to anyone. From the beta alone, we can see Microsoft have made huge ground, and even their most staunchest critics have been hard-pressed to put it down. Except of course the fanboys. This vocal minority of Mac users don't do a huge amount of favors to the mass Mac user base because they follow Apple's every move without question, and many of them seem to aggressively defend them even when they deserve criticism. I fully subscribe to the Apple philosophy of think different and attempt to view things from a fresh perspective. They've certainly broke new ground in creating new exciting solutions to some old problems, and that's a great thing. Microsoft can be guilty of copying and plagiarizing many of OS X's features and innovations, like incorporating the advanced search system, parental controls, dock-like functionality, Media Center, Expose, Preview, and more, into Vista and 7. But Apple are not immune either. Their persistence on not conforming to basic standards like HDMI, slow adoption of Blu-ray, price gouging for the old processor architecture, and in my view, less attention to quality control. The issues many users have experienced with iMacs, screen condensation, questionable MacBook battery life, poor MacBook Air cooling, unstable super drives, flaky MacBook chassis, iMac display problems, time capsule power supply failures, and that's to say nothing about the operating system itself. One thing cannot be denied. Windows is going to be a match and possibly more for OS X. Regardless if many of its features have been adopted from Snow Leopard, it will still, in my view, drastically reduce the number of users switching to Mac. And because it will be significantly improved over Vista, the only reasons many people will switch is for OS X's reduced susceptibility to viruses, arbitrary user choice, and perhaps to make a fashion statement. That's not why I bought mine. The same Mac fanboy criticisms that were leveled at Vista cannot be made of 7. The remaining scathing attacks they are now reduced to are, there are too many versions of 7, it's too expensive to upgrade, and viruses. Viruses will always be an Achilles heel to Windows, as it's the majority OS, but the stability and reliability bashing is now over, and for some reason they have a problem with this. Why? As I see it, Windows is not just there for traditional Windows or general PC users, it's there for all of us, including Mac users. A recent study showed that 85% of Mac owners in America also own a PC. I mean, if it helps make you more productive and get more from your PC or Mac, how is that a bad thing? Isn't making use of two OSs better than one? I believe that Apple's slip-ups have been possibly a result of their over-attention to the iPhone and upcoming tablet. The Mac desktop line is no longer their core business, and now they have an increased focus on consumer devices at the expense of their computers. Snow Leopard boasts many minor but useful UI improvements and refinements, along with major architectural enhancements like 64-bit Grand Central allowing better multi-core, multi-threaded processing, OpenCL, and Microsoft Exchange. However, these features are not something many of the current crop of Core 2 Duo Macs can take full advantage of. Many apps are still not optimized for them. Personally, for that reason, I feel slightly suckered into spending that tiny $30 upgrade fee. I mean, does an improved expose and stacks really make you more productive? Was getting back 8 gigs of hard drive space really worth the rampant and inexplicable Finder issues and printer driver problems? Is propagating a user base who lives in denial about products and problems really the secret of Apple's Mac success? Why were there such issues with Snow Leopard? People say it's as a result of understandable teething period for any new OS, and ordinarily I would agree with you, but 10.5.8 was rock solid, and 10.6.0 and 6.1 are not. Snow Leopard is more than just a service pack, but it's still meant to be a better Leopard. In Windows' favor, it won't corrupt itself for nothing. It will usually take an external influence. When something goes wrong, there are steps that can be taken to correct it. With OS X, when something goes wrong, it's very serious. Why do certain apps in OS X inexplicably give problems? Why must I delete caches, empty preferences, reset the PRAM, and for the love of kittens, why must I repair disk permissions? What the frick is that about? I'm sick of nonsense propaganda speech about how OS X only ever crashes or breaks down because of user error. That's a bald-faced lie. These problems are as a result of a company that is now stretching itself too thin. Neither Windows 7 or OS X are perfect. For that reason, I will make use of both in order to attain the best possible user experience. There are things I love and hate about both 7 and Snow Leopard. There are applications, services, and utilities I need in both. The future of operating systems does not rest solely in the hands of Microsoft and Apple. So for the time being, I would hope a spirit of open-mindedness from both fanboy communities can begin. To be honest, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. I want to see both Microsoft and Apple with their backs against the wall, each working on competitive and innovative new products. These products will offer greater choice to us as consumers. My name is Dave, and I'm not a Mac or a PC. I'm just a bloke who uses whatever tools are necessary to get work done on his computer.